All right, pre-calc guys, it's time for a little study or a little test prep. I'm going to give you a little mid-chapter test. So this is the study guide for it. It's really just a video that's going to help you remember a few things. So I'm going to go in the order of what I see on the test itself. I would give you multiple choice, but I don't like multiple choice. So I'm going to go ahead and take all those answers off of there, and I'm going to probably change a couple of the numbers on there so that you can actually do the work yourself instead of finding the answers online. So the first problem says, hey, let's take some sort of degree measure and convert that into radians, okay? And all I want you to do is take, okay, what is 500 degrees in radians? Okay. And all you're going to do is take your 500 degrees and multiply by. You guys remember? Hopefully you remember that you're multiplying by pi over 180. Degrees cancels out with degrees. You know, that's factor label or dimensional analysis. So let's see. Well, we know it's 50 over 1 over 18. 50 over 18 pi. Can I reduce it anymore? Yeah, it's just basically 25 over 9. 25 pi over 9, that's how it goes. All right, so that would be your final answer. That's what you would look for on the sheet. All right, so that's super simple. That was an easy one, wasn't it? So I'll get rid of this one. Bye-bye. And then we'll move on to the next piece. The next problem says, and I quote, which of the following is the approximate value of x? Okay, and so they're going to give you a triangle. And they're going to say this is a right triangle. So pardon me for, for drawing a horrible triangle. And they're going to say that this angle is, let's say it's 40 degrees. Right? And then they're going to give you x for a side, and they're going to say that the length of this side is, I don't know, 14 meters or 14 whatever. Right? And then they say, find x. It says find the approximate value of x. So find x, right? And all we would say is if x is here, we're looking at the opposite side over the adjacent side. So we would look at the tangent of 40 degrees is equal to opposite 14 over x. Okay, well, if we did some quick algebra, multiplied both sides by x and then divided by the tangent of 40, we would end up with x equals 14 divided by the tangent of 40 degrees. And then you could just type that into your calculator. Hopefully you have a calculator. I have one handy, so while I talk, I'm going to make sure I'm in the right mode. I'm in degree mode, so that's good. And I'm going to put that into my calculator. I'm going to say 14 divided by tangent 40. And I'm going to say it's approximately 17, but I'm going to say it's 16.7 because it looks like these are all the answers that are close by are rounded to the nearest tenth. So I'll pretty much accept everything. I'm going to say it's about 16.7. Right? And so there we go. There's the second type of problem that's going to be on your test. Right? And there are, I think there are 10 problems or 12 problems. So, get rid of that and get rid of this, and then we'll move on to the next type of problem. Next type of problem is just find the degree measure when you're given, oh, sorry, got to do that. Get rid of that. Now we're back to here. Find the degree measure in this right triangle. What a horrible right triangle. But they give you a right triangle. And they give you, let's see, they give you an opposite side and an adjacent side. All right, and then they say that theta's here. And find theta. And so we say, well, opposite over adjacent, that's tangents. We say, so that the tangent of this angle is equal to 4 over 10. And remember, when we're looking for the actual degree measure and we divide both sides by the tangent, what we're really doing in our calculator is saying that theta is equal to the inverse tangent, right? We hit the second button and we hit tangent, and then we put in 4 divided by 10. You could put in 0.4, that's totally fine. And then I'm going to do it here on my calculator. I'm going to do it with 0.4, and I'm going to do it with 4 over 10 to see if it comes out to be the same way. I know it does, but I'm just checking to make sure. And for this particular angle, it is theta is just about 21.8 degrees. Don't forget to write degrees. All right, and then the next problem is kind of fun. It's something that we didn't really do in class, but you know really well because you've had math before, and it's that whole idea of circles and understanding circles. And let's see if I can go ahead and draw a circle here. Right, there we go. That's a circle. Oh, that's horrible. Gotta undo that, don't I? Sorry, kids. Let's try again. Let me pull a circle here. There's a circle. Cool. Now, this says, and I quote, here's the center of my circle, somewhat. Got to get out of there. Undo that. This says, find the approximate area of the shaded region. Now, this is pretty tough. Let me say that I'm going to leave the multiple choice on here because the multiple choice is very helpful. So it's kind of a cool thing. It has this area shaded, you know, all this is shaded. And then it gives you a degree measure here, and I'll do that in a different color so it stands out. It says it's let's say it's 250 degrees. That's not quite there. It's almost 270. So it's 250 degrees. And it gives you a radius of 8 feet. And I want you to use logic. I don't want you to go crazy with how this works out. It's actually a very simple idea. All you're going to do is pi r squared gives you the total area equals total. Right? Well, you're going to say 360 250 to 360 is going to be proportional or equal to the total and then on top is going to be what that portion is. So really, you don't have to solve this proportion. You could really just simplify this. And you can say 25 over 36 times, oh gosh, sorry about that, times the total will give me my approximate area. And that's really basically what we're doing. No big deal. If that's 8 feet, you just put it in R 64 pi. That's my total, and then multiply it by the ratio. So it should be very easy. So I'm going to move on. If you have questions, just let me know later on. But I will not be answering any questions while you are taking a test. Eventually, you're going to have to take a test on your own. And I'm going to change all the numbers so that you don't try and use the numbers that are in the computer. Because everybody knows all the answers are on the internet. I'm looking at them right now. Right, the next problem is kind of fun for me, but you don't care at all. So the cool thing about this is if the a car or a motorcycle or something is rolling, so we get another circle, right? So let's grab a circle, and we put this circle here, and we say, okay, that's a wheel, right? So we get rid of that, and get rid of this, and we say that the diameter of this wheel, and I'm just going to draw it straight across, and I know it's not perfect, but you know what I mean. They say that the diameter of this wheel is about 2 feet, right? And they say the car drives, 40, let's say 20 miles an hour, mph. We want to know the angular speed, right? The radians per minute if it's driving 42 miles an hour, right? And so we would have to say, if it was going 20 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour, we'd have to say how far has it gone in a minute, right? So if it's 20 miles an hour, we're going to have to start converting to minutes, right? And we're going to go miles to minutes. And it's going to be, actually, we could go to feet per minute, and that would be pretty good. But let's go to miles per minute, and then we'll go to feet per minute. And I think I'm going to cancel that question because we only have a certain amount of time. So I hopefully can cut this video down. Let's skip it. I don't like the question. The next questions have to do with finding sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. If you're given a couple of sides of a right triangle, right? So let's say you have this. Oh, God. Let's undo that. Let's go up here and pull straight down here. That's so much better. That is so much worse. Wow. Who cares? Come on, Sokol, just freaking go on. Let's say we have 7 and 12. Oh, God, those are bad numbers. Anyway, we want to find this first and then write down our trigonometric functions, right? So we look for x, and x is the square root of 144, that's 12 squared, minus 49, which is 7 squared, right? And so 144 minus 49, 144 minus 49, which is so super simple, that's just 95, which gives me the square root of 95. I don't know the square root of 95. I don't have any. I don't see any perfect squares in there. So here we go. I'm just going to call it square root 95. Very simple idea. Then they give you an angle down here. And they say the sine is square root of 95 over 12. Sine, etc. Cosine, right? Don't forget cosecant and all those. So that's pretty good. And I tried to do this. There we go. Sorry it took so long. Gosh, such an easy problem and it took forever. There's another one where it says if you're given, let's say, I'll just do it just the way they do it. If they say the cosecant of theta is equal to 5, right? Tell me the other 6 trigonometric functions. Well, you can already write, the sine of that same angle is the reciprocal of that. So that's 1 over 5. Well, now you know a couple of things. You know the opposite side is 1. You know the hypotenuse is 5. So now all we're looking for is this guy here. So we know this is 5, and we know this is 1, and we're looking from down here, right? So we use the Pythagorean theorem again. We say the square root of 25 minus 1 gives me my last side. So it's square root of 24. Square root of 24 has a 4 in it, right? A 4 and a 6. So we would say this is 2 root 6. If you left it as square root 24, I'm not going to cry, but I'm going to write down 2 root 6. And then now you have all the sides and you can write down your trigonometric functions. If you don't remember them, you're going to have to look those up. I'm not going to give you all the answers to everything. I can't do that anymore. You're on your own. Don't forget, I still think you're great, but sometimes you have to take a test on your own. And here we go. Lastly is what we just did. What we just did, remember, they said, tell me the amplitude, period, frequency, phase shift, and vertical shift of a function. And so they give you a function. And I really just don't feel like going through all this stuff. It's not very difficult. I may give you those, the little formulas, or you can pull up the video and just look at the little box on top. That would be fine. And then the last problem I think I want to put on there, I'm going to take the last graphing problem off. The last problem that's on there is it says let this point, let's call it negative 4, 6. be a point on the terminal side of an angle. And remember what we did is we took this XY grid and we found -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we went down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We went out here and we made a dot and, oh, sorry, it goes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we made a dot up here and we made that our angle. And so this is the angle that we're looking at, right? And we said this is, a right triangle from here. That's got a side of 6 and it's got a side of -4. And all we needed to do is use the Pythagorean theorem to find this guy here and then give me the 6 trigonometric functions doing it that way. Okay, and so you can use this as your theta and use Pythagorean theorem, which is 36 plus 16. What is that, 52? Square root of 52, yucky. And that's what that is. That's square root of 52. And then you can write down all the trigonometric functions. And that's how you take your test. Those are all the ideas. If you have any questions, please shoot me a message on Google Classroom. Whew, having trouble talking today. And that's about it. So I'm going to post this along with the homework that you have today for next week. We're going to go through that, and then the very next day, I'd like you to try and start your homework and then take the quiz on Wednesday. Thank you so much. Bye.